how one man used his difficult upbringing as a source of strength to help the children following in his footsteps.
Terry Stevens of Bristow, Virginia, wrote to us about her high school friend, Rob Scheer, who has inspired her and countless others to offer compassion and hope to children in foster care. Take a look.
I went to high school in Manassas, Virginia in the 80s. I had a friend, Rob Scheer. We lost touch but reconnected in 2013 on Facebook. I then learned that the entire time Rob was in high school, he was in foster care. None of his friends knew at the time. There was a negative stigma attached to being a foster kid. Rob carried his belongings in a trash bag from home to home, and when he was 18, he became homeless and would couch surf or sleep in his car. Rob never let his past hold him back. He is now a successful businessman and father to 4 amazing children he and his husband adopted from foster care. Sadly, they all came to their home with their belongings in trash bags. Rob knew how that could affect a child's self-esteem. So he started Comfort Cases, a nonprofit that provides children entering foster care with items they need for daily life. These cases are distributed via social services and other nonprofit agencies. Comfort Cases is an all-volunteer organization. My 19-year-old daughter and I are on the board of directors. In 3 years, we have packed nearly 25,000 cases for children. Rob has inspired me to become a better person, to look outside of myself, my issues, and to my community, and what I can do to become more involved in helping those who need help. Rob has become a role model to my daughter, who has been involved with Comfort Cases since she was 15. Rob is an amazing person.
Terry and Rob, hi.
Hi. You're still tearing up over it, right? That's just amazing. What was it like for you? Can you, in a couple of sentences, to be so alone in this big world? Even you're in a house with strangers, basically. What was that like?
You know, it wasn't until my senior year of high school, it was the fall, and I became homeless. And knowing...
Because you age out, don't you?
I aged out. And back in the late 70s, early 80s, when you turned 18, you were out. And I was out. So I was out with my trash bag. And I couch surfed, and I slept in a abandoned bathroom, and I would go to the public library, and I would read until the librarian would tap me on the shoulder and tell me it was time to leave.
Wow.
And
who did you turn to when you needed someone?
no one, myself.
Yeah.
You know, the statistics show that the kids that are in foster care end up in juvenile detention centers. We have our prisons full of people
Yes.
touched by foster care, and that just wasn't the path that I was supposed to go down.
Yeah. Terry, it's so great that you brought this story to light. When you looked back and realized what he had been going through all those years, when you probably just thought he was like every other kid, what struck you after seeing him again after all those years?
I think his strength and the fact that he parlayed his situation into helping other children and creating this nonprofit, and by his adopting children in foster care that needed homes. I mean, it was just his total strength.
And you said he helped your daughter too. In what ways?
We found out about Comfort Cases on Facebook, and she wanted to bring it to Virginia. I think he's become a role model to help the youth, not just my daughter, but other children that have been involved with Comfort Cases, learn that they need to be a part of their community and give back.
Aren't you so glad there's Facebook? I mean, this would have never, right? I mean, the fact that you guys could
But
connect.
the fact that you never knew during high school, because you never had a home you could invite, I mean, you can't really have a normal life, can you?
Right. No.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, there were kids who knew, and there were teachers who knew, and they would give me a little bit of extra food at lunchtime. And I went back to my 30th high school reunion, and I apologized to kids. And I apologized because I was that kid that stole food off their plate because I didn't know if I was going to eat over the weekend. And I just knew that getting an education was what's going to make it. See, most people think that the color of your skin separates each one of us, but it's not. It's our education level.
Well, you need to write a book.
Yeah, you do.
Of how you went from that situation to getting an education, then becoming successful, and then turning.
Yeah.
I really recommend you do that because there's so many hurting people out there that feel like there's no hope.